So kuna mtu aliniuliza such a very good question. How would you help somebody who is trying to heal? So I'll give you these tips in our pay. These are the tips that me personally I lacked. I went through this journey, uh, a bigger portion of it by myself. Nah, of course, God was always on my side. But so first of all, hii journey ya healing, it's not a destination. Ukianza kuiangalia as a destination, like you will never arrive there. So the way I was taught, it's like you see an onion, there is layers, there is layers, there is layers, there is layers. So first of all, jipe grace, give yourself grace ukianza. Second of the second thing, your environment is key, my friend. Your environment is key. So so for instance, if kama uko in an environment that does not support these kind of things, you see, you will have a harder journey. The thing is that most people watakujaribu, they'll try to make you think that what you're doing is insane. So for me personally, environment ya huku, it's so much accepting, and this is part of life and part ya vitu zenye watu wanafanya. So people are more accepting. So people are very proud wakisikia you're on that kind of a journey. But if you're in an environment yenye nobody gives a damn about that, like the culture haina your place, yeah, like, hey, I think differently, like, go visit your wounds, it's more of like, hey, it may happen, let's dig a hole, let's bury it, let's continue the journey. So but me personally, some of the things that I mimi sikwenda shule kuketi, like, these are things I learned me peke yangu. So the first one, na nimeziandika hapa juu, I'm sure, like, making this video itafika mahali ni sahau. So the first one is, I wish you can listen without making judgment. And by that I mean, like, if somebody is going through something, like a friend akikukujia kwambie, hey, napitia depression, just listen, just listen. Just listen. Second of all, validate their feelings. Validate. Juu nimenotice wase wengi hata wenye wanaji, most of them, they talk about their feelings, but there's a point in time yenye wase they don't validate. So kama mse anapitia mauchungu, like, you ati man up, there are things zenye people say, but validate people's feelings. And the other thing, you don't tell people how to feel. That is one thing I had to learn. The group I talked about a men's group in nilikuwa naenda, and most of the men there, they struggled with addiction ya pornography. So the thing is that one of the things we used to do, like, you had to talk from the perspective of I, not everyone. And that's why, like, most of the time nikiongea hapa, I make it my I'm possessive, start kusema, like, if I'm struggling with something that everybody is struggling, hapana, I make it my own. And so yeah, that rabbit trail imeenda hivyo, so nimesahau what I was gonna say. So you validate their feelings, and then you become consistent as a friend. You check in on them. You see, Manze, this is one thing I hoped. For me, I guess I've shared my stories of how I got there. One of the things that would happen is that after my divorce, nilijipatanga peke yangu, mabeshte wote walijikata. I just don't know how people do that. At your greatest moment of need, wase wanaendanga. So within that 10 years, like, you go from 1 year unapitia stuff, the second year halfway vitu zinakaa vizuri, unarudi. So I was going through a cycle, unaona, for almost 10 years. But The last one yenye which all the healing I had up to that point to where niliingianga kwa ndoa and then ikavunjika, everything yenye nilikuwa nimejua collapsed. You at this point, you know, you put your heart on the line. Um so be consistent. Check in on those people. Na mimi, like, the people, kuna watu wawili that they checked in on me, and nakwambia sitawahi wasahau juu when somebody checks in on you at your lowest point of need, like, manze, nakwambia, like, you will never forget them. You will never forget them. Juu each one of us, we are gonna have those moments, and one of them, I was there for her at a time that she needed something. I was there for her. So the other one, man, is practical needs. Yeah, practical needs. I don't know, man. Like, you can offer to buy groceries if you can. Like, there are things that you can offer, like practical things to show that you are with that person. I'm telling you, the minute you start this journey, it's gonna be very uncomfortable. Nakama, if you have never dealt with your own feelings and you look at your past, and I mean, nakwambia kuna vitu mingi, you'll be like, man, I felt cheated my whole. That's how I felt. Man, I had to get to a place to where I was like, I'm okay with that. You will feel cheated. Like, uta question, like, why, and it's part of the process. Uta question, why do those people on that side get to have a better life? Why you'll it's part of a grieving process. You're shedding, you're shedding something, so you will grieve memories and things, and you'll feel cheated, but you gotta pick up and then move on. So those are the ways that, I mean, you can be practical, especially helping somebody in a practical way. Utakuwa umefanya a huge difference. And sometimes it can be like, hey, I'll take you out for coffee. I'll I'll watch your kids, or what do you want for dinner? I'll bring you something. Like, that is how you help that person. So I hope that answers the question.